Hi folks, this is Karim Rao from IoT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Red Alert lab. This is the video number 5. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been working to create something called Active Directory login scripts. These are scripts to be applied to any user that is trying to log in to a machine that had joined the domain. So we will have 3 different Active Directory login scripts for our 3 armies. We have the Ally army, we have the Japanese army, we have the Russian army. So for every one of these army and their users in their Active Directory and their users in the Active Directory, they will have a certain Active Directory login script to be applied to them. So for the Ally army, there will be an Active Directory login script that will install the English keyboard layout to this user, and then we have another Active Directory login script for the Japanese army that will install the Japanese keyboard for this user, and we have a third Active Directory login script that will install the Russian keyboard layout to the user, of course with a couple of things, not only this. So every user will have his keyboard installed for him, and other things, something like fixing the time to reflect the Cairo time zone, because this server, it is in Cairo in Egypt, and install or apply a couple of registry keys, something to hide the Cortana, something to display this PC icon on the desktop, and to change this PC to reflect the name of the PC. So let me show you all. So this is it. This PC text will be changed to reflect or to be replaced with this text, which is desktop LT so and so, which is the computer name. So these are the 3 Active Directory login scripts. We have configured them successfully, and it was applied to the users, and then we begin configuring different group policies, and we will apply Microsoft recommended group policies. So Microsoft have something called Microsoft Security Baseline. These are a group of documentations and ready-made group policies that Microsoft recommend for applying in any domain. Especially these group policies are concerned with the security. They are very strict group policies, so you need to apply them. Before applying them, you need to test them very carefully before applying them. There are different group policies, some for securing the Microsoft Edge, some for securing the Windows 10, something for securing the Windows Server, some for securing the Active Directory. So these are ready-made group policies which are recommended by Microsoft to be implemented to fix or to increase the security of their products. So we have done all of this in the previous video. We have configured the group policies, we have imported them, because this was ready-made group policy, so we imported them to our group policy management console. In this video we'll begin assigning every group policy to its respective organizational unit. So we need some group policies to be applied to computers, some group policies to be applied to users, and we will configure 3 new group policies for every army. So we will configure a group policy for the Ally army, so we will configure a group policy for the Japanese army, and we will configure a group policy for the Russian army. Every one of these group policies will be responsible for applying certain background and lock screen and screensaver to the users of each army. So for example, the Ally GPO will be responsible for applying certain background and certain lock screen and certain screensaver to all of the users of the Ally army, and the same for the Japanese GPO, and the same for the Russian GPO. So every one of these armies will have certain background and lock screens and screensavers applied to them. So let's see how we will do this in our video. Let's see, I think we are recording. So let's begin applying. So now we will open the VM Workstation Pro, and then we will open the domain controller, which is RACC01, and remember we have Windows Server Data Center Core installed on this domain controller. So we'll power this virtual machine on. and then as we know we will work on this domain controller remotely from the POW workstation which contains Windows 10 LTSC 2019 Enterprise, and we have all of the necessary tools or the graphical tools necessary to deal with this server remotely. Okay, and we all know that these graphical tools to help us configure the server which basically doesn't have any graphical interface. Okay, so here we log in with the red alert. Okay, Raouf, this is the domain admin account, and then we will log in, and then we will begin, or we'll open the group policy management console and then begin assigning different group policies to different organizational units. And not only the group policy to be applied, you need to have two things. You need to have the organizational unit the group policy will be applied to, and the object in the organizational unit that it will be applied to. So there is some organizational units that contains computer objects, or some that contains user objects, or some that contains groups. So here we have all of these group policies. Now we will create 3 new group policies. We will call it Allies GPO. This is the first one. Okay, and then we will have a second one that we will call it USSR GPO. This is for the Russian GPO. And then we will have the third one, which is for the Japanese army. Okay, EOT is Empire of the Sun. This is the abbreviation, or EOTS, and USSR, United Russian something service. I don't know what is USSR abbreviation means. Anyway, so we have the 3 group policies, and then we need to link every one of these group policies that we have created in the previous video, link it to its correspondent organizational unit. Okay, so first of all we need to make sure we have these are the all military groups. So these are the groups that all of the armies are grouped in it. So this UN army, all of the armies are here. And for example, Advanced Classic Shell Advanced, this is a group of users, okay, that the Classic Shell options are open for them in general. And the Classic Shell Basic, this is a group of users that the Classic Shell options are not fully displayed for them. There is some options are hidden. Anyway, we have the Classic Shell Advanced. We don't have any users, so we'll add a couple of users here. And with the Classic Shell Basic, we will add also a couple of users here, so we can test them and see if the user is a member of the Classic Shell Advanced. He will have the Classic Shell program have some or have all of the options appearing for this program for him. If he is Classic Shell Basic, some options for the Classic Shell will be hidden from him. And we said that Classic Shell, it is a program that mainly changes the interface or start menu of Windows 10 to be more like start menu of Windows 7. So here we will add, for the Classic Shell Advanced, we will add the IT. So I need the IT all group. All of the IT should have the Classic Shell program options appearing for them. So we'll use IT all. This will be the member of this group. So we will add it. Okay, and then we will, after putting this group or members in this group, we will attach it to a certain, remember we have a group policy called Classic Shell Policy Admin. So we will attach this group policy to this Active Directory group. Okay, so now we will go to members, and then the Classic Shell Basic, we will add a couple of groups. For example, infantry all we will add normal users, or the users that we don't need the Classic Shell options to appear for them. Normal users, maybe something like accounting team if you have in real life, maybe normal users, office, front office team, recreation team, reservation team. So you don't need the users to play with the Classic Shell options. Okay, so we will choose the group, and then this group Classic Shell Basic will be, or this group will be attached to a certain group policy which is Classic Shell Limited. So we will attach this group policy to this group or Active Directory group. So here we will choose a couple of users or a couple of groups that contains. By the way, you can add a group in a group, so you can add a group to be a member of another group, okay? Or you can add, of course, a user to be a member of a group, but you can add a group to be a member of another group. This is normal. So we have infantry all, we have all air force and all infantry, and maybe you have the lieutenant. So we can add, I think we add the infantry only, so this will be the group infantry. These are all of the infantry teams in all of the three armies, so they will have limited access to the classic shell program options. Okay, so now we will just remove UN army ally, and then we leave infantry, and then okay, and then apply and okay, and then we have configured a couple of Active Directory groups. We need now to attach every group policy to a certain organizational unit, okay? And this is number one, and also not to attach it to a certain organizational unit, also to attach it to a certain group, okay? So this organizational unit can contain a lot of things. I need it to be applied to a certain organizational unit or a certain Active Directory object. So here we are attaching these three group policies to the domain level. So these three group policies will be applied to all of the organization units in the Active Directory, okay? So one will ask me, this is admin, or this will open shell options, and the other will close open shell. This will open classic shell options, and the other will close classic shell options. So how this will be applied to all users? How the Active Directory will know that he need to open classic shell for certain groups and close it for certain groups? We will limit this group policy to a certain Active Directory group. So let's wait and see how this will be done. So now we will attach the group policy to certain organizational units, or attach it to the domain level. So here, for example, we have the classic shell, we have advanced users group policy. This is a group that will open USB and DVD for certain Active Directory groups. We will see how we will filter, or we will put a security filter on all of these group policies, okay? So we will filter these group policies to be applied to certain Active Directory objects. So let's first attach every group policy to the, or we attach the group policies to the domain level. Now we will go, for example, to this one, and we will see how we will filter this, or we will see. So for example, here we can see authenticated users. So this group policy will be applied to an Active Directory group called authenticated users. Authenticated users, this is a built-in Active Directory group created by default when you install the Active Directory, and its members are all of the users that successfully logged in to the domain with a correct username and password. So this basically have all of the users of the domain, okay? So I need to remove them because I don't need all of the USB and DVD to be opened for all users. So I will remove it, and then I will add a group from the Active Directory that I need only the USB and DVD to be opened for them. So let's see how this will be done. We will remove the group, okay, and then we need to add the other group, which is UN. We have a group called advanced users. So let me show you all the group that we need it, or we need this group also to apply to it. Or we have the generals, for example, we need all generals. So we need the USB and DVD to be open for the generals from all of the three armies. So this is the first step. You need to go and add in the delegation tab the domain computers Active Directory group, which is a group also built in the Active Directory by default, and its members are all of the computers in the domain, okay? So we need to go, after assigning this group, or assigning this Active Directory group to this group policy, we need to go to delegation and add domain computers group and give them read permission on this group policy. If we didn't do this, if we only add the group or remove authenticated users and put this group and then we didn't do anything else, this group policy will not be applied. You need to go to delegation and add domain computers and give it read permission on this group policy, okay? This is done by Microsoft. If you have a group policy that in its security filtering section you have authenticated users, okay, you don't need to go to delegation and put domain computers. But if you change authenticated users and remove it and put any other Active Directory group, you need to go to delegation and add domain computers and give it read permission on the group policy you need to apply. So again, if you have a group policy with authenticated users in the security filtering, okay, this means, and you need to apply this group policy to all users, so you don't need to go to delegation and add or do anything else. But what if you need this group policy to be applied to a certain group other than authenticated users? So you need to remove authenticated users and add the group, and then go to the delegation tab and add domain computers and give it read permission on this group policy so it will be applied. Okay, so now we go and tell him we need domain computers. Just a moment, guys. So let's continue, guys. Here we will give the group domain computers read permission on the group policy. So if you didn't do this, this group policy will not be applied. So now this is the advanced users group policy. We have one opposite to it, which is called default users group policy. Now this one, this closes USB and DVD on users. So we put it to the domain level to be applied to domain level, and then we will remove authenticated users again, and then we will add a group of users. We need the USB and DVD to be removed or disabled for them. For example, the infantry users. So we will add the infantry users or the infantry army for all of the three armies. Okay, we will add all infantry. These are all of the infantry groups in the three armies. We will add it, and then we need to go to delegation and then again do what we have done in the advanced users group policy. So now we have it. We need, I forgot here to do this, you need to go to delegation and add domain computers and give it read permission on this group. I forgot to do this, but you need to be very careful. Okay, so now we will go and begin attaching the other group policies to a certain organizational units. So here these are all will be applied to the domain level, okay, or all of the organizational units. Now we have certain group policies I needed to apply, for example, to the computers, and the computers here are in three organizational units: airbase, armor facility, defenses, seaports. Okay, and these are all workstations. So these computers, airbase, armor facility, defenses, seaports, these are all normal computers or workstations. So I need to apply certain group policies to these organizational units. As for the servers, I will apply different group policies. So let's see what the group policies I need to apply. So here we will click and tell him link to an existing GPO. Now we will choose the computer. So these are computers, so we will choose the computer group policies to be applied to this. So we have Edge version 8.8 computer group policy, and we have Office Pro group policy, a computer also, and we will apply different things. So let's wait and see. Now we will apply also the computer one, and then we will also apply 20H2 computer, okay, group policy, and the hardening group policy. Okay, these are all applied to computers. We have others that will apply to users, and then we will apply the WSOS policy. We have discussed this before, and Windows Update. So all of these will be applied to computers, okay, and I need to apply to also this organizational unit that contains computers, and this one and this one. So we will do this for the ally and for the rest of the armies. Okay, so we'll go to armor facility, and then we will do the same. We will link to existing GPO, and then we will do the same. So we will repeat what we have done. Okay, we have the Edge. Okay, so these are all group policies that are applied to computers. We have others that will be applied to users. We will attach them later. So we are adding the group policies, or we are assigning these group policies to different organizational units and different objects in these organizational units. Okay, so now we are doing this. So we have done this already. Tell him okay, and then we will go and complete what we are doing. Now we will go to defenses. So we have airbase, and we have, these are the group policies to be applied, and this is ARMO facility. We have 6 group policies, okay, including or additional to these ones, okay. So now we have ARMO facility. Now we go to we have the mapping group policy. This is a group policy that will map certain network will map certain file shares to certain users in the domain as mapped drive, or as network map drive, okay. So now we have mapping policy, okay, it will be applied to all, okay. So now we go to defenses and then link existing GPO, and then we link different group policies, and we will repeat the same process with the empire of the sun, okay, rising empire of the sun. So we are now just arranging and linking group policies. So we are arranging our group policies and how they will be applied in order, okay. So now we have the military groups, we don't need to apply anything to them, and the IT group, okay, we don't need to apply anything to them. Now we have the seaport, computer. So these are all group policies, and it's mainly concentrating on security. So these are security group policies to harden your Microsoft products, okay. So now, and we will see later that there is a lot of organizations or non-profit organizations also that have some recommendation and group policies also to harden Microsoft products and non-Microsoft products. Now we will go and do the same for the other ones. So now we will go also and attach these group policies, the same as for the Japanese army and the same for the Ally army. The same as we have done in the Ally army, we'll do it for the Japanese army. Okay, these group policies, okay. So tell him okay, and then we have the ARMO facility. Then we also will attach these group policies, computer, and you can check what these group policies contain when you download these group policies from Microsoft website. There is a documentation that explains or that contains and describes what are these group policies and what they do, okay. So now we go to defenses, okay, and then we will add computer objects, or add the computer group policy objects, okay. Now we are doing this. Then we'll go to the seaport, and then we'll do this the same for USSR. As for the servers, we will have a couple of group policies also to be applied. So now we go to the seaport and then link existing GPO. So now we are organizing our group policy structure, and we are planning how they will be applied, which group policies are applied to which groups or which organizational units. So now we are attaching the same, okay, Windows update, and now we go to the USSR, okay. We have the last one left, okay, and then we will apply airbase the same. We are doing the same, we are applying the same group policies, okay, to the same, and we have also the same organizational unit structure for every army. So basically we are repeating what we are doing, okay. So now we have this, we have the ARMO facility, and then so we have done this. Now we will go and repeat what we are doing now, the computer, okay, and we will have, I have showed you a sneak peek for the Office computer group policy. And actually it contains a lot of useful configuration of the WSOS and GP update or Windows update. And now we go to the defenses, and then we will apply Edge computer, Office computer. As we see here, Microsoft also is classifying group policies according to whom it will be applied to. It will be applied to a computer, or will be applied to a computer as a whole, or to a user in specific, or to users in specific, no matter what computer they are sitting on, okay. So here we have seaports, Then we'll apply it to also the computers, and then we will have the computer, okay, also hardening, okay, and then we will have the BSOS policy and then Windows updates, okay. So now all of these are done. We need to attach certain group policies to the users. So army camps are the organizational unit that contains the users for each army. So now we will apply the users group policy. So now we will apply the office user group policy. So if we go there, we will add these three group policies. These are all users group policies, so we will apply it to these organizational units, and then we can see that we have Windows 10 also user group policy, and then this is all. So we will do this for the users organizational unit in each army. So we'll do this, we'll tell him okay, and then we will have, I will put the USSR GPO here. We apply it to this organization unit, so everyone under it will have this applied to it. So anyway, so now we will continue, and here I will apply link existing GPO. So we'll have USSR GPO. So this will be applied, if it is applied here, it will be applied down to all of the organization units under it, okay. So now we have USSR, and then we will have also this, we will link existing GPO, and then we'll apply the same users group policies, the same that we have done in the USSR army. So you will apply it, and remember these are all in addition to the group policies in the top level domain. Okay, so now we will add the users group policy. Okay, and then we will do this for the ally army, but before this we need to apply the EOTS GPO to this organizational unit, or the parent organization unit that contains the sub-organization units under it. So now we have these two. Now we go to the ally army, and then link the user GPOs. And by the way, the less you have of group policies, the more it is better. So we don't need to have a lot of group policies, because this will take a lot of processing on the user side, okay. So you need to have less group policies, okay, so the user can log in faster, okay. So now we will configure the ally GPO. Now we have applied to it. We need to do the last one. We need to add a certain group policy to the server's organizational unit. So we have one of these group policies called server hardening. So we will go there and add server hardening. This will be done for the domain controller, but this is for the servers. So we have also a group policy to be applied specifically to this organizational unit which contains the servers. So we will apply the server hardening, Windows 10 or Windows server hardening for Microsoft, and then we go to the SSR, the last one, and then apply the servers hardening group policy, and we will test them one by one. And actually we will talk too much about these group policies. We will talk about every group policy one by one, step by step, okay. So we will see their effect, and then we will begin discussing one by one and applying also not only Microsoft recommended group policies, but we will see different organizations that have different recommendations, but they all have something in common. They all take from each other. So this is the ally GPO. Edit. Now we will begin, or what we will do now, we are configuring that the ally users in the Active Directory should see a certain background and a certain lock screen and a certain screensaver, different than the users or the Active Directory users of the Japanese army and the Active Directory users of the Russian army, okay. So we will see this. Let's see how we do this. We will configure two things. We will go to administrative templates, So we will wait a couple of things here. So here we will do something. Here we will go to control panel, personalize, and here we will force a specific lock screen. Okay, this is a lock screen like the lock screen of the mobile. So here we will specify a photo that will be a lock screen. Okay, and we will prevent the changing of this lock screen. I will see later. Let me show you all first the option of forcing a certain lock screen. Now this is enabled, and we will show the path. The path, it is a shared folder on our domain controller that contains the photo or the picture of the lock screen. So we will go to backgrounds, okay, and then we have folder under it called allies. Okay, so let's wait and see here. Allies, okay, and then we have a picture called lock.jpg. This is the lock, or this is the photo that will be applied as a lock screen, okay, for the ally army. Okay, you will do this, and then we'll tell him apply and okay. Okay, lock.jpg. okay, you need to be case sensitive, I think, so we'll type lock, the L is capital, so we'll type lock.jpg, and then we will tell him apply and okay. So now we need to do, after forcing a certain lock screen, we need to make sure of a couple of things. Okay, we don't need the user to change it, so we need to configure another group also. So here we'll prevent the changing of the lock screen. So here this is the option to prevent changing lock screen image, so the user can't change the lock screen. So this is one, because we can apply it and then the user can change it, so we don't need this. And then we need to prevent enabling lock screen camera. So there is a way that if you have camera on the laptop, you can take a picture or a photo and apply it from the camera to be as a lock screen. So you can open the camera, take a screenshot or take a photo, and then apply it as a lock screen. We will prevent doing this. Okay, so we'll prevent it from be changed and prevent it from using photos taken by the camera to be enabled as a lock screen. So we will enable this option to prevent enabling lock screen camera. And there is something called enabling lock screen as a slideshow. So you can enable a fixed photo as a lock screen, and you can apply a group of photos in a slideshow to be configured as a lock screen. We will also enable prevent using lock screen as a slideshow. So here, by applying this 1, 2, or applying this 1, 2, 3, the 3 group policies will assure that the users will not change the lock screen. Okay, so these are the things for applying a certain lock screen. We need to do this for the background, and we need to do this for the screensaver. So let's see how this will be configured, and we will do this for all of the 3 armies, but this is the ally groups. So let's go to users. So this is done in the computer configuration side of the group policy. So let's go to the user part. Okay, in it we will configure the background and we will configure the screensaver. So let's wait and see this. So here we will go to control panel, and then we'll go to personalization, and then here we will enable screensaver. This is the first one, and we will show, or we will redirect it to a certain path that contains the screensaver, and it should be .scr. so the screensaver should be an extension called scr. Okay, and I need to apply a unified screensaver for all of the 3 armies. Okay, because I don't have much screensaver, so I apply one for all of them. Okay, but as for the lock screens and as for the backgrounds, I have for every army his backgrounds and his lock screens. So let's here wait and see. Here I will get a certain screensaver. I have it on my laptop, so I will go to the shared folder between my laptop and and this virtual machine. So here I have it. Now let's go to background and scripts. We have marvel.scr. so this is a screensaver for Marvel. It will be applied to all of them. So now let's go and add it to the backgrounds shared folder on the domain controller. So here, this is the folder. Okay, I will go, we have backgrounds, but this is the ally folder. I will go to the backgrounds and put the screensaver here. Okay, and then I will go and point the group policy to to this screensaver location. Okay, so here let's see, and we need to also not only configure the screensaver, we need to make sure that the users will not be able to change the screensaver, and we will configure a couple of group policies also to do some security, or to have some security standards on the screensaver. Okay, I will show you all what I mean by this. So now we will enable the screensaver. So this is the first option, and then we'll tell him apply and OK, and then we need to prevent the changing. First of all, prevent the changing of screensaver. This is the second thing we need to apply it. Apply and OK, and then we need to password protect the screensaver. So what is password protect? If the user left the PC for 15 minutes, a screensaver will appear and it will be played. But what if the user returned back and need to continue working? He need to provide his Active Directory Active Directory password, so the screensaver will disappear. So if he need to get off the screensaver and begin working again, or log in again to his desktop and begin working, he need to provide his password. So we'll password protect the screensaver. This is very important one. It's one of the best practices for security. So you don't need, when the user leave the computer idle for a couple of minutes, we don't need his PC to be opened and his user is open, so or his desktop is available, so anyone can bypass and then begin working. No, we need the PC to be locked with the screensaver. Okay, and the screensaver will not be deactivated unless the user provides the password, or his Active Directory, or his Windows password. Okay, so this is a very important one. And I'm applying OK, and then we have a screensaver timeout. What is a timeout? This is the time that the screensaver will begin working. So if you leave your PC for more than 9,000 seconds without any activity, the screensaver will work. Okay, for 9,000 seconds, this is 15 minutes. Okay, so this is also best practice for Microsoft. So we have everything done. Then we will force a specific screensaver. This is the one that will specify the screensaver location, or the executable server screensaver executable name. So this is the one. It will be marvel.scr. Okay, so this is the one. We'll copy it, and then we will paste it, and then we will type the name of the screensaver. So this is it. We will rename, or we'll take the whole name of the file of the screensaver, or file screensaver name, and then tell him apply and OK. And then we have successfully configured the screensaver and the lock screen. Now we have the last one, which is the background. Here we will tell him desktop wallpaper, and this is it, and then we will specify the background photo that will be applied as a background for the PC. So this is the one. We have something called background allies. Okay, and then we will copy the destination. So we'll tell him this is the destination slash. First of all, we will need to stretch this. If this photo is smaller, or it is small in diameter or small in resolution, it will stretch it on the whole screen, so it will be a good option to choose. Okay, so now we will tell him this, and then we will put the name of the photo that will be applied as a background, and we have this photo named background.jpg. So this is very obvious that this photo will be applied as a background, and every one of these photos is different, or every background photo is different as the army differences. Okay, or as the army differentiates. Here you can prohibit changes. You can do this to prohibit changes to the desktop. So here we can prevent user from enabling or disabling active desktop, or changing active desktop configuration. So this locks the configuration by the user setting web display. Users cannot enable disable active desktop. So anyway, I will not apply it because this will not do any good. Okay, because the background will be applied and the user will not be able to change it. Okay, so anyway, see, we will do this. We have done this for the allies. We need to do this for the Japanese GPO, and we will do this for the Russian GPO also. Okay, and after that we need to test and see if the group policy that we applied will apply the certain background and a certain screensaver and a certain wallpaper, okay, will be applied. So here we have all of this configured. Now we have finished the Ally GPO. We need to now go and configure or do the same for the Japanese with different backgrounds and different lock screen and different screensaver. Okay, not the default. We have the default domain policy. I don't know why I am configuring this, but let's wait and see. Yes, here I am just referring to my default domain policy for a certain thing. I need to make sure that the desktop or the wallpaper setting, I don't have prohibited changes selected. So let's go here and see. So here if I go desktop, here I have configured desktop wallpaper, but prohibited changes is not configured. So here I'm just checking to see if I need to configure it. Okay, so now we have the Ally GPO configured. Now we need to configure the Japanese. Okay, and here what I'm doing here, I'm linking this Ally GPO to my IT group or global IT group. So I am in this group, so I am testing this group policy on myself. Then I will configure the group policy of the Japanese. Okay, we will apply the same setting but with different backgrounds or background photos and lock screens photos and screensaver. So here we will go again to the control panel, and then we will go to personalize, and then we will go to force specific lock screen, and then we will apply another lock screen. It's not the allies. We will go to the EOTS, and then we will apply this lock screen for the EOTS. I have shown you all the different backgrounds and different lock screens in the introduction video for this series. We have a couple of different backgrounds and lock screens. I will do this. Okay, so we'll do this again, and I think I will not repeat myself, so we will do all of this. We will go there and we will continue. We'll do the same. So we'll force specific background. We'll do all of this. We have done this, and then we have all of this done. We will go again to the Russian army. Okay, and then we will apply the same. So we'll apply the same setting but with different things. So let's see here also, for example, if I go to the control panel and then personalize and then force a specific lock screen, here we will go to the folder of the Russian army, and then we will choose the background or lock screen, and we will do the same. So let's continue here and see. We will go lock screen, and then we will continue, enable the screensaver and then the backgrounds, and we will do the same. And so now we have configured everything for the three armies. Okay, so we have done this, and then let's test and see if this group policy will be applied. So I will restart. I have myself added to the Ally GPO, so I need to see the background of the GPO. I need to see the Ally background and screensaver and lock screen. So let's see if I will have the background of the Ally applied to me. So now I will log in with Karim as my user, red alert /Keraouf, and then I will do this, or I will put the password. Okay, and then we will log in and see. So here it will take a little bit of time, but I think we can pass it real quickly. Here we can see that I have the background of the Ally army. This is their background, and if you wait for a couple of minutes, or if I leave this virtual machine not working for 15 minutes, you will see the screensaver of Marvel. Okay, so this is it. That means that our GPO is applied successfully. So now we have everything up and running, and every group policy is attached to its respective organizational unit, and you have everything configured. Okay, so we need now to get one of the, this is me as an IT, I need to get one of the users of the ally army and test to see if he also will have the same background and the same setting. So this, because I am an IT, so I am testing it. So let's see if I go to any one of these armies. So let's go to the army of the allies and choose let's say we'll choose it, I need to choose it not intentionally. I will choose any user and see if this user will have a certain background applied to him. So we go to the armies and then go to the ally and then go to command center and go to the army camps. Okay, and then we'll choose one of these users. Okay, without any without intentionally choosing anyone, just randomly. Okay, so here I will choose, for example, Albert Bridges. Okay, so this is one of the Navy ally army. Okay, so we will see if this user, we logged in with his Active Directory user account, we will see if the GPO of the ally will be applied to him. Okay, so let's see, this is Albert Bridges. Okay, and then we will see his account. So now we go to the account. Yes, this is AL Bridges. So let's see if we will reset his password, and then we will see if we log in with his username, we will see if the background will be applied to him as well. So now we'll put a password. Okay, and then put it here. Okay, this is the password. Okay, here it is. Okay, and then this is Albert Bridges, and then we will begin logging in with this username. So what I'm doing here, I don't know what I'm doing here actually, but okay, we will try now. So we will close the console and then we will log in with this user. So we will close the console and then we will log in with Albert Bridges Active Directory username and see if he is from the ally, so the ally background will be applied to him. So now we will tell him Control Alt Delete, and then we will tell him OK, and then we will say AL Bridges. Okay, and then we'll put the password. Okay, it will take a little bit of time, and we can notice that the welcome messages of Windows has disappeared. This is called Windows animation. So I have disabled Windows animation from the default to domain policy, because this takes a lot of time for the user. If he is especially logging for the first time, it will take 1 or 2 or 3 minutes. So I am disabling Windows animation or Windows welcome message. It will not appear for the user. So it's called preparing Windows, and let's see if the Active Directory login script will be applied, the keyboard will be installed, the background will be applied, the lock screen will be applied, the screensaver will be applied. So let's see all of this in action for this user. Okay, and you need also to test every army. Will take a sample of the users for every army and test it and see if the correspondent group policies are applied. This is only for the ally, so this is our sample, and let's see if this will be applied correctly. So now it will take a little bit of time, so we can go further here, and then we will pause the video. So here we can see that this is the ally background, and we have POW, this is the name of the machine. So that means that the Active Directory login script is applied, and this is the time zone of Cairo, and then this is the English keyboard. So all of these are done, but I have something here. I have a group policy, which is the advanced users group policy, the one that I am using to disable, or the advanced users group policy that I have through it enable USB and DVD. I have another setting configured in this group policy to enable users to see the C partition, okay, and the DVD. So we can see here this user can be able to see the DVD, so he is in the advanced users group policy. As for the default users group policy, in it I have disabled the users to see the USB and DVD and not to see the C partition as well. So this user, he is in the advanced users group policy, so that means that he is from the generals. We remember that we have in the advanced users, we have the generals as a member of the advanced users group policy. Okay, so now we can see this, so it is applied correctly. And by the way, if you have normal users, it is preferable that they can't access the C drive, okay, because they can do or delete something by mistake. So you need to hide C and disable access it for normal users. And you can see that Cortana is already hidden. So now we will shut down the PC, and then I think I will take a snapshot, maybe, I don't remember. Yes, just power off, okay, and then we will power off also the server, okay. So this also concludes for our video. In the upcoming video I'll begin working with the design of the Active Directory, so we will talk about how to secure or how to prepare our Active Directory environment, okay, so we can secure it more. We'll do a couple of changes to the Active Directory structure, okay, and then we will after changing our Active Directory structure, we will apply certain security standards, okay, to harden it or to increase the security to our Active Directory. Now we'll tell him shut down P. This will shut down the server, okay, without time or without notification. So I think this is it. So I think it will video, it will take a little bit of time. So now, yes, now it is finished. So until the upcoming video, hope this video was informative for you all, and would like to thank you all for viewing. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share and like and activate the bell icon, so when I do any new videos you will be notified, okay, or notification, okay, icon. Thank you so much. So we'll stop.